Hey guys, Sean here. It's been a while. It's been probably since late October, early November since I've posted. I know it's been since early November since I posted a video, but probably late October, early November since I posted even a Flosstube video. I decided to take a break. I put a post out in my community post. I don't know how many people saw it. I had a few people comment on it, understanding, and that was nice. But I needed to take a break, and it was possibly going to be a permanent break, to just reevaluate my relationship with YouTube and the channel. I was getting kind of disheartened, I think is the word, and unmotivated to do videos, especially when it related to the booktube side of things. Views were way down and getting worse each time. Flosstube's always been fine for that, but I was getting too wrapped up in worrying about the views, and I was worried about I was putting undue pressure on myself to get all the kinds of content out, and especially in a time when I wasn't really reading a lot, and I needed to step back and think about things and what certain aspects of the channel meant, and how I related to them. And yes, Ollie, I know. Okay. Ollie had something to say. As he always does. I think there's a ball down here he wants me to throw. There is. My cat plays fetch. Anyway, I wasn't reading a lot, and I needed to step back and look at how I related to the different parts of the channel, and if I wanted to even go on with any of them. I'm coming back now. I've missed definitely the Flosstube side, and I've been itching to make a Flosstube video. So my thought process right now is that I'm more than likely going to come back just as a Flosstube channel. I thought about coming back with all three kinds of content: books, film, and floss. I had a great reading month in February. I got through, between audio and physical, I read like 12 books, and that's 3 times what I usually read in a month when I'm reading good. I'm usually, if I'm reading good, I'm usually good for 4 books in a month. A lot of them were small, 150-page translated fiction books. I've been reading mostly translated fiction since the 1st of February. It's really, I found that's really kind of where I'm at with reading. So I thought, great, I'll come back and I'll put some Flosstube videos up, and I'll talk about what I've been watching, and I'll talk about what I've been reading, and it'll be good. I'm back on the swing of things. But then as soon as I started thinking about book videos again, it changed my reading. It changed my thought. It changed my thought process on reading back to what it was, the pressure to read certain things, to talk about certain things. I enjoy following book prizes. And then I've been reading along with the BookTube Prize translated fiction category, just on my own, just for me. But then the Women's Prize long list come on. I enjoy following the Women's Prize. And then because I'm so into translated fiction right now, the Booker International Prize long list came out. I got really excited about that. And I thought, great, there's some book content. But as soon as I started thinking about coming back into the BookTube thing, I started immediately thinking about books as content again. And I haven't been reading as well. So I think I'm not 100% certain yet, but I'm about 90% of the way there. Then I think I'm just going to let that go because I don't like what it does to my reading and the way I think about reading. So I'm pretty certain I'm coming back just as a Flosstube channel. The film side I never really got going that well anyway. I struggle with reviewing stuff too. I can't talk as well in a review about books or movies as many other people can, and that bothers me. I don't feel like I can give as in-depth of a review as I'd like to because sometimes I don't even look that as deep as other people do into things. I've stopped giving star ratings, and that's been nice too, because, or at least on books, I've stopped giving star ratings because they're arbitrary, they're subjective, and you know, my 5 stars, your 3 star, and a lot of people put like, well, that's only a 3-star book. I don't know if I want to read that. 3 stars is still a good book. 3 stars still means you enjoyed it. And things like that bother me. And then people get into like quarter stars. Like, it wasn't quite a 5-star. It was a 4.75. And you know, that's fine. That's fine for them. That's how they want to do things. Awesome. But to me, just give it a 5-star. You obviously loved it. Anyway, that's schematics, and neither here nor there. But that's just kind of where my thought process has been. So that being said, I'm definitely coming back to Flosstube. This is going to be a WIP parade. You know, it says in the title, I'm almost 7 minutes in. I just wanted to explain kind of where I've been and where my thought processes have been and why I took the break that I took. But I'll get out of there. Yeah, so that being said, if I'm coming back as entirely a Flosstube channel, there will be a name change again. I don't want to be lost in books, film, and floss if all I'm talking about is the floss side. And that's probably going to be the case. Like I said, I'm about 90% of the way the decision is made that I'm coming back strictly as a Flosstube channel. That's where my core viewership has been anyway. I love the community. It's the only part of the community that somebody has reached out and said, hey, where's your Flosstube videos been? I commented on an Instagram story that Megan at Stitching Moon posted, and she, you know, inquired about where my Flosstube videos have been. And I told her I was taking a planned break and to reevaluate things, but I was thinking about coming back pretty soon. So I know that there are people at least one person already, and who's wondering where my videos have been. So on the Flosstube side, so I will be changing, if I'm going strict full Flosstube, I will be changing the name. Hopefully for the final time, because if I do this, it'll be my 4th name since 2017 when I started the channel. I was Eclectic Reads and then Eclectic Cove and now Lost in Books, Film, and Floss. If I'm going fully Flosstube, and I want your guys' opinion, I have a couple of ideas in my head and I want your opinion on them. I could go something as basic as Sean P. Stitches. It's not that exciting to me, but it's an option. A couple of things I've thought of, and I know that there is a channel out there called Flossabilities, but I love the word. So my 2 thoughts playing off of that word are endless flossabilities or lost in the flossabilities, keeping the lost in portion of my channel name and just changing it from Lost in Books, Film, and Floss to Lost in the Flossabilities. Or I kind of really like endless flossabilities as well. So I would just kind of like your opinion down below. Leave me a comment, send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is still at Books Film Floss. you can send me a message on there with your thoughts, or just leave it down in the comments below. That's fine. I might throw a poll out on my community tab maybe, but endless flossabilities, lost in the flossabilities. Let me know what you think. Because if I'm coming back, like I said, if I'm coming back full Flosstube, only Flosstube, I want a channel name that reflects that. So anyway, all of that aside, 10 minutes in, let's get into the WIP parade, because you guys haven't seen any of my projects since late October, early November. So let's get a baseline back of what my projects are, and where I'm at with them. I've been doing a lot of stitching the past couple weeks, so I've actually made some really good progress. I've been throwing some stuff out on Instagram and getting a lot of positive feedback on Instagram. So let's get into it. First piece. This piece is my Audrey Hepburn piece, and this is what it'll look like. It is Audrey Hepburn sitting in the window in Breakfast at Tiffany's with her guitar singing Moon River. In case you haven't seen Breakfast at Tiffany's, and if you haven't seen Breakfast at Tiffany's, just stop my video right now, go watch Breakfast at Tiffany's, and come back to me. Because you should watch Breakfast at Tiffany's. And I had a page finish recently on it that I posted on Instagram. And this is where I am at with it. This down here, this is the bottom of the piece. So I have reached the bottom. I have a goal on this to finish it by my 45th birthday on the 29th of September. So that is what I'm working towards. It's about 228 stitches a day to do that. And I'm on pace. I've actually just finished before I started filming this. I finished today's stitches on it. So this is where I'm at on the current page that I'm working on. And that is Audrey. That is going to be a finish this year, hopefully by my 45th birthday. I kind of planned it out. Where'd this floss come from? Oh, from the Q-snap. Okay. I tuck the current floss I'm working with into the grime guard of the Q-snap. Sometimes I forget they're there. Then I go need that color on something else. Like, where the hell is that color? Oh, yeah. So yeah, that will be a finish this year. I kind of planned out the stitching, I think, so that I finished it like September 28th, like the day before I turned 45, so that it's finished by the time I turn 45. I figured that would kind of be a nice birthday present for my 45th to finally finish a full coverage piece. I picked this one back up after a while. This is Big Cats. This is from Tilton Crafts. The Audrey one was from an eBay seller, and I don't quite remember the name of the shop that I got it from. It was almost 4 years ago. So, because I started stitching in 2018, and that was the first full coverage piece I started. But this is Big Cats. This is a retired Tilton Crafts chart. And I had put this one aside for a while. I wasn't sure about my fabric on it. At the time, I didn't love working on it. It's a 28 count kind of tea-dyed even weave that I got from Michael's, which makes it kind of smaller than 28 count because it's dyed. So I wasn't loving the smallness. Like when we got into an area where like only one stitch was missing, and with the color of the fabric, sometimes it's hard to tell that a stitch was missing in the spot. So that's what I didn't like about it. And it's got a linen. It is marked as even weave, but it's got more of a linen feel to it, like with the holes. And I wasn't loving that. But since I've picked it back up, I don't mind it much at all, especially since I've gotten used to linen a little bit with a couple of my other projects. So I actually don't mind the fabric that much. It's still hard to see when I'm, especially in these lighter colors where I'm missing a stitch, but I can get through it. So this is where I am at with this. I finished this page the other day, like Thursday or Friday. I finished this page here, so you can start seeing the panther coming in there, and we've got the white tiger up here. So I've started working this page. I work, and I've been doing, I talked about this in my probably last couple of videos that I did, that because I've been doing a lot of playing around with the way I stitch, and I remember talking about in a video that I discovered I really like the left to right diagonal. It makes more sense to my brain than the right to left diagonal that a lot of people do. So that's what I've been playing with, is the left to right diagonal. So what I did is I had already had this part done because I was working here, and then I decided to move down to this page. This stuff doesn't show up as well off camera when I'm just looking at it. These color variations between 939 and 823 and 336 in here, these don't show up as well when I'm just looking at it here, but when I put it on the camera, it always just shows up nice. I really like putting it on the camera. Anyway, so I had already been working that way. So what I did, because I like working the left to right diagonal, I kind of made my way, you see these little stitches up here, I kind of made my way over to that corner of the page and then started working those left to right diagonals that way. And I'm doing kind of what I'm doing now. I was working strict in the diagonal. And then what I decided to start doing, because sometimes it's easier if you just want to get a bunch of stitches in, to go outside of that diagonal where the symbol is and just finish out your floss. So what I've started doing is kind of a combination of diagonal stitching and Sarah the Stitchin' Mommy's typewriter method. So I work primarily in a diagonal. That's how I choose my next symbol. So once I think I'm working the 939 through here right now. So once I get done with this 939, I'm going to go back up, and this symbol up here that's missing, you see these few missing stitches right here where it looks like it's missing at the top of the diagonal. I'll go back through. So once I'll carry the 939 out through here, and then if I get to the bottom of here and I still have thread or I still have floss left on my needle, I'll go over into the next diagonal and I'll start working the 939 over in this next diagonal until I run out of that floss. And then what I'll do is I'll go back up to the top leftmost unstitched symbol in that diagonal, that primary diagonal I'm working in, and that'll be the next floss I thread up. So in this case, I know it's gonna be 336. So I'll finish out the 939. Any floss I have left on my needle, I'll finish out in here, and then I'll go to 336, and then I'll work that in that diagonal. And then when I'm done, whatever floss I have left on my needle, I'll go over into the next diagonal and just finish out. Or like I can show with Audrey, wherever I put her. On this one, what I've been doing, because these light colors all form this like side of the window here, this window frame, instead of going straight in the diagonal, I've just been working them down. Just like kind of however the symbol flows, I'll just finish out my floss, and then I'll go back to my diagonal. So that has been really, really working for me. So much so that I think what I'm going to do, and I'll kind of show in a little bit, I think what I want to do, like, I like the left to right diagonal so much that I think any new starts I do, I'm going to start over in that corner, over in the, instead of the top left corner, I'm going to start in the top right corner. so that I'm working that left-right diagonal that way instead of having to start and then work my way over to that corner of the page and then go. So what I think I'm going to do is on pieces that, and I'm going to test this out with a piece, is what I think I'm going to do is if I'm only on like the first page or don't even have much of the first page finish, I'm just going to work my way across the top of the piece and get over to that other corner and then just start working the piece from the top right corner. So I don't got to work my way over each page. I just work my way over all the way across the top, get into that top right corner, and then work the piece from that top right corner in the left or right diagonals that I like. So I'm going to play with that a little bit. Oh, these two pieces of floss go back in here. Sip of water because I haven't done this in a long time. Okay. This is Gallery of Learning. This is a Randall Spangler, Heaven and Earth Designs piece. Let me find it. Excuse me. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. This is a huge piece, very busy. It's kind of why I like it, because you're always stitching something. Something's always coming into view. But this is where I am at with it. You can kind of see what I was talking about, working in one left to right diagonal and then carrying my floss out. So yeah, like I said, that's really been working for me and I really enjoy it. I think what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to finish this page out. I have a lot of if you've seen this on Instagram, you've seen maybe in the description where I've talked about this as a page finish focus. Because what I kind of wanted to do, and I'm kind of abandoning this now because I've got other thoughts. But I have several that I started that I don't even have a page finish on. So I wanted to, spin a tiny decisions wheel, pick one and then finish the first page. And then I wasn't going to let myself start anything until I finished at least one page of everything, of all the full coverages I didn't have at least a page finish on. But I'm kind of a little bit abandoning that idea because I did have some other goals that I kind of abandoned that I want to go back to, and that's getting every piece up to the next 5%. I forgot to say on Big Cats, I have it set up to where I could get 50% finished with this by the end of the year. I don't know if that's a goal I'm going to hold to. But I was enjoying working on it so much that I kind of thought, I wonder what it would take to get at least 50% of the way done on that by the end of the year. So anyway, but I had it set up, and I might have talked about this in an older video shortly after my 44th birthday, probably an October video, where I was looking at goals like for the next year of my life, and I wanted to get every project up to its next 5th% goal. So if I was at like 2%, get it up to 5%. And then if I was at like 19%, get it up to 25%. Instead of just going up to 20%, get it up to 25%, since 1% is not a whole lot. So I'm kind of revisiting that now. So anyway, that's Gallery of Learning. It's about time, and it is about time on this one. I've been working on this one since 2018, and this is another one I hadn't had a page finish on. This is Cyril Marchetti, Heaven and Earth Designs. I should say most of my pieces are on 28 count. If it's plain white, it's 28 count, even weave. If it's kind of this cloudy gray, it's a 25 count. 28 count Lugana, 25 count Lugana. That's mostly what I work on. If it's anything different than either of those two, I will try and remember what it is. Anyway, Cyril Marchetti, Heaven and Earth Designs. I had not, almost 3.5 years after doing it, I still didn't have a page finish on it, and I finally got that page finish. So you see, what I did is I worked my way over to that corner, and I started it in that corner. So if this works out, I'm gonna just get my way over to the, I mean, because really all I got to do that with is the top page, because I work pages. I'm kind of working pages diagonally too. So the next page I would work on this would be the page under the first page. So I'd already be able to figure out where that top left corner was, because I kind of marked it. But that's where I'm at on it. It's about time. This is Remember a Day. I really got to clean up my pattern keeper and take all the stuff I'm not working on out of it, and only have the stuff that I'm actively working on in it. Take out the things I haven't started, but I like looking at things. Remember a Day. I think this is Chris Down. Yeah, Chris Down. Heaven and Earth Designs. Really love this piece of art, steampunky and very cool. This is where I'm at with this. You can see I've been doing a lot of playing around with things, but this is where I'm at. Next is Simply Meant to Be. I think most people know what this one is. This is Jack and Sally. It's hard to tell in the mock-up, but Oogie Boogie is there in the moon, and then Zero down there. This is Sherry Gerhardt, Heaven and Earth Designs. I haven't done much work on this at all since you last saw it. I still have these pieces of Luan here that I used to use to protect the Grime Guards clips, and I don't do that anymore. I fold the fabric over. In fact, those aren't even going back in. But this is where I'm at with this. I haven't made a lot of progress on that. Actually, that one will go back in because I don't feel like messing with folding that over right now. But the other one's not going back in. And on my getting things up to their next 5%, I have it all set out in a spreadsheet. How many stitches I have left to get things up to their next 5%, and I'm kind of working, and I'll talk about this a little bit more when I get to the piece that I'm on right now. But whatever's got the fewest stitches left to get it to the next thing, I kind of put it in order of fewest stitches left. That's what I'm working on. So, and when I get up to the next 5%, on that one, I'll just move on to the next one, and I'm going to get into the ones that got like Gallery of Learning, and I think it's got like 12,000 stitches left to get it to 5% because it's huge. So that'll be fun. I don't think I lost a needle. Either that or I took the needle off of that needle minder for something else and never put it back. This is Inner Depths by Chris Ortega, Heaven and Earth Designs. Many of you who've been with me for a while know Chris Ortega charts are about my favorite on Heaven and Earth Designs. I love Chris Ortega's charts. And this is the max color version. I think it's about 150 colors. And this is where I'm at with this. I want to get back to this one real soon too, because I enjoyed working on this one, and I have too many full coverages. I have over 20 full coverages started. So, you know, you don't see a ton of progress on many of them when you have that many going. That's why I'm trying to do a little bit more focusing. This one is Castle Wolves. If you watch Darren, Disney Stitcher, and I'm sure who doesn't, you've seen this on his channel. He's working on this piece too. So that's what it looks like when it's done. It is will it load the PDF for me? Sometimes it won't. Jan Patrick Krasny is the artist on it. And this is where I'm at with it. Not a huge start on this. If I like that thought of going all the way over to the other corner, and this is definitely one where I don't have much going on this page. I can just go over, start from the other corner. I might do that. Next is Mistique. And I believe it is Linda Ravenscroft. I could be wrong on that, and I am wrong on that. Amy Brown is the artist on this. This one I really like the idea of going over to that other corner because the tree's over in that other corner. And right now I've just got one of those bats or butterflies or whatever they are. Dark butterflies there in this one. And I still got plenty to go before I'm finished the page on this, so I might just head on over. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this. I'm trying to hold them up long enough so that I can take a little screenshot, and next time I do a Flosstube, I can do the this is where I was at the last time you saw it. Sometimes I forget to hold them out long enough to do that, so when I go to try and get it, I go, shit, I need to hold those up longer. Next is Quarantine Cats. Artwork by Bridget Ashwood. Heaven and Earth Designs. This is what it'll look like when it's done. And this is where I am at with it. Again, another one of those I kind of started in, like, was doing like a Startapalooza thing last year where I was just buying fabric and starting pieces because I just thought, you know, I just want, like Jemima the Rocking Stitcher says, I want to be able to swee stitch what I want, stitch what you want when you want. And if I wanted to stitch on a certain piece and I didn't have it started, that meant I couldn't stitch on it. So I was just starting stuff so that whatever I wanted to work on, I could work on. And that was kind of my thought process because I probably have more started right now than I'll ever finish before I leave this world. But I definitely have more charts than I can ever stitch and finish before I leave this world, and I want to enjoy stitching on them. However much I get to stitch on them, I want to enjoy stitching on them. Next is Outer Frontier. This was the first Heaven and Earth Designs I started. This is artwork by Chris Ortega. I started this shortly after I started Audrey in 2018. This was the first one Heaven and Earth Designs I just really fell in love with and needed to start right away. This one I'm going to take off the Q-snap. I'm going to show you one thing, and then I'm going to take it off the Q-snap and show you the whole thing. Because it's time to move the Q-snap. Last night, I finished this page. So there's her arm there. So I'm going to take it off the Q-snap and show you the whole thing, and I'll put it back on the Q-snap after I get done recording into the new spot where I'm going to start working. Okay, let's see if we can get this all in the camera shot. This is where I am at with it. It's kind of wrinkly because it's been up in the Q-snap. I'll try and come a little closer, take it around. But this is where I'm at. See, I'm kind of doing diagonal pages like I talked about earlier. So the next place I'm going to go is down here, which is going to be this area here. Oh, crap. Damn it. Went completely out of Pattern Keeper. Jesus. So, anyway, it's going to be down here where all these wires and junk is coming in at. And that's going to be fun. So that is going to go over there. And I'll put that back on the Q-snap in the spot I'm going to start stitching on it again. Stolen Harvest. This one is huge. It's going to take me forever. It's like 488,000 stitches. So this is what it looks like. It's Heaven and Earth Designs. Annie Stegg, maybe? Yeah, Annie Stegg. And this is where I'm at with it. I'm almost done with this page. It's been a lot of black. It's like over 100,000 stitches of black, like 120 something thousand stitches of black. Maybe even more. Let me see. I mean, it'll only show me the stitches I have left of black, but yeah, I have 107,909 stitches left of black. And the piece is 488,125 stitches. I am 3% of the way done with it. So I'm working towards a 5% for a goal. This is the piece I think I'm going to test out going over to the other corner on. This is Scotty, Goddess of the North. I don't think the PDF tells me who the artist is. Yes, yes it does. Dusan Markovic. This is from Charting Creations. This is what it'll look like when it's done. This is one, if you remember, I was playing with doing one whole big long diagonal across the piece and just doing the piece in big long diagonals, like going through the middle. So this is the piece that I had started doing that with, and I think I can show that without taking it fully off the Q-snap. So that's where it's at. You can see what I was playing with. Now I'm back to I was gonna go back to the page, and then I had the idea the other night of, and this is why I didn't like doing just this big long diagonal. It was fine, but it left so much space that I wasn't stitching in the Q-snap that I could have been stitching. I could have been filling up space. I was just going along the diagonal and then moving the Q-snap, and I think that's what I don't like about stitching in the diagonal for the full piece, like one diagonal all the way down, is then you got to move the Q-snap, but then there's all this space I could have been stitching in the Q-snap. And I didn't. So this one, I had the idea the other night. I figured what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move. Was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. I'm just going to go as far over as I can and still be able to stitch underneath, because there may be space over here, but it doesn't mean I can get my hand under there well to do those stitches. So as far as I could and still comfortably stitch, and then just fill as much of the Q-snap as I could and just comfortably stitch. But now I think I'm going to take this over to that top right corner and start working this piece. This is a good piece to test that out with, because I've already been testing stuff out with this piece. This is Rainyloo Place from cross stitch collectibles. Here's what it looks like. And I'm sure any Stitching Jewels viewers know this piece. This is going to be, I have 200 stitches left of this to hit my next 5%, which will be 15% completed on this one. So I'm actually going to, tonight, I'm going to put those 200 stitches in, and then I will be up to the 15%, and I can move on to the next piece, which is Scotty, a Goddess of the North, for my next 5% completed. So that's where I'm at with this one. So it's going to get at least 200 stitches into it tonight, and then it's going to get put away for a little bit until I just happen to, unless I just feel like working on it someday. Because there's still going to be some sway in this. Next is Mermaid. Artwork is by Elena Lazareva, and this is another one I might just go over to the other corner on, because if I just go over to the other corner on, I'm going to get into that ship pretty quickly. So this is what this one looks like, Heaven and Earth Designs. You see a trend with me, Heaven and Earth Designs. But this is where I'm at with it. Like I said, I might just shoot over to that other corner. You just stitch along that top line until I get there or something. Now, the next one is going to be I want to show it to you because I am going to come back to it. I am going to... I want to show you kind of where I'm at with it and talk about it a little bit, because I've shown it. It's been on the channel many times before, but it's Fly Away by Jessica Elaine, Heaven and Earth Designs. This is what the chart looks like. I love the chart. I love the piece. But I hate the fabric. I hate the fabric that I'm doing it on. I don't even remember. I'm sure it was in Michael's or Joann's fabric purchase that I cut down from some. But this is where I'm at with it. But I was stitching in this page, and it's got that dyed effect where it's smaller than it should be. And I'm doing 1/1, 28 count 1/1, so it's actually more like 29 and a half count with the shrinkage, and it's thick. It's kind of thicker fabric, and it's tough to get the needle through sometimes, and hard to see. And I hate working on the fabric. And I started thinking about I didn't want to restart it because I've done so much, but in the grand scheme of the chart, I got a long ways to go to hate the fabric that I'm working on. So this is going to be a UFO for now, and I'm going to get new fabric, and I'm going to restart it, and I'm going to restart it over in that top right corner. So mostly I think so that I don't feel like I'm starting on just redoing stuff I already did. But that's what's going to go on with this one. It's going to be a UFO until I get new fabric to restart it. Again, this was kind of early on in my stitching, and I hadn't really solidified the fabric that I was still testing out fabrics. Next is Cheese Delivery, which I continue to call Cheese Shop. I understand that there's a delivery going on in the photo, but it's a cheese shop. That's why I keep calling it Cheese Shop, but it's Cheese Delivery. Pain-Free Crafts, artist Chris Dunn. I believe that's the artist name. Double check. Yeah, Chris Dunn. And this is where I'm at with it. Another one of those kind of Startapalooza starts. So that's that. This one, because of its size, this could, when I get Audrey done, did forget to mention on the Outer Frontier that I have a goal on that to be 50% of the way done with it by my birthday as well. So by September 29th, I want to be 50% done with Outer Frontier. I originally wanted to be 75% done with it by my 45th birthday, but I kind of spent a lot of late December and January not really stitching a lot. Partially because I was just figuring out this, had the YouTube thing on my mind a lot, and then that was kind of taking the stitchy bug out of me too. So I spent a lot of time not stitching for a couple months this winter. So I really lost the conceivable pace to get that to 75% of the way done by my birthday. So I want to be 50% of the way done with Outer Frontier by my birthday. Maybe 60-65% of the way done with it by the end of the year. I want to get it into a position where I can conceivably finish it in 2023. Once I get Audrey finished, Rainyloo Place and this one are conceivable, could be possibly conceivable finishes for 2023 as well, just because of their size. But I want to start getting some things in finishing position. Next is almost forgot the name of this one. The Hanged Tree, artwork by Chris Ortega. Heaven and Earth Designs. Stop Closing Pattern Keeper. Now I gotta go all the way back down to it. This is why I need to get the charts that I haven't started out of Pattern Keeper and just have the charts that I'm working on in it. I can, if I want to look at stuff that I possibly want to start, I can do it on my Google Drive. So, this is the Hanged Tree, Chris Ortega, Heaven and Earth Designs. I told you I really love Chris Ortega's artwork. This is like three of his that I have going. So that's where I'm at with it. Next is Once Upon a Fairy Tale. Annie Stewart, Heaven and Earth Designs. Everybody knows the bookshelf pieces from... let me be able to rotate this. Because you'll see this one better if I can... There we go. I usually have my auto rotate off. So that's what that one will look like. And I'm going to now turn the auto rotate back off. And this is where I'm at with it. So I think, because I already kind of am, this is the one I'm going to end up playing with, instead of Scotty Goss of the North, playing with just filling the space of the Q-snap. I might go back over to the other corner, work my way over to the other corner and still do that, because I think what I want to do is I want to work this one shelf by shelf anyway. This is the top of the shelf, so the entire top to bottom of the shelf fits within my 8x8 Q-snap. That's my preferred size. I really haven't tried anything bigger, but I don't know if I want to try anything bigger, because I like this size for just holding it in my hand, sitting on the couch and stitching while watching TV. I don't really want anything bigger for that. So top to the top of the shelf fits within the 8x8 Q-snap, where I can still kind of comfortably stitch. It gets a little tight down to the bottom here, but it's workable. So I think what I'm going to do is stop worrying about the pages on this and just fill up the Q-snap with the shelf, move it over, do the same thing, just fill in the shelf. Now, it remains to be seen if I'm going to continue to work left to right, or if I'm going to work my way over to the top right and then work right to left. But I will definitely finish this out before I do anything. By then I'll know exactly what I want to do. Next is Enchanted Glimpse, artwork by Julie Fain, Heaven and Earth Designs. This is one of her silhouette pieces that I really enjoy her silhouette work. And yeah, I gotta take off the other one too. I forget this. I think this is the one that is not an official Q-Snap that I bought at Michael's, so it's harder to work with. It's an off-brand one. So this is where I'm at with this one. I'm going to hold it up with my chin. So this one, if you're new to my channel, I had originally thought I was going to color complete the black on it, which is why I have all of this here. I was outlining the black and then I was just going to fill it in. So that is was my original plan with that, but then I abandoned that and just started working by page. This is another one that could conceivably be a possible finish focus for next year if I get into a decent enough shape with it. Open. Thank you. Yeah, it's 121,000 stitches. I'm almost 20% of the way. So the next goal on this will be 25%. I'm 19.59% on this one right now. So when I get to this one in my next 5% goals, it'll be the goal will be 25%. I've gotten 23,827 stitches done on it, and it's 121,600 stitches. So I've got less than 100,000 stitches left on it. So this could conceivably be a finish focus next year, because I'll be even closer to that by the time I get up to 25%. But I really like that piece. Next is Writing My Memoirs, artwork by Jeff Haney. Excuse me, Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a really cool one, and it doesn't show here, but when you look at the picture of this online or even on the PDF, this white border shows as black. So I've made more work for myself on this one, and many of you have heard me talk about this before. I've made more work on myself with this one by wanting that black border, because I like the way it pops off the black when it's shown with that black border. So I wanted to do the black border. So I've created more work for myself. This is another one that I could conceivably just try filling in the Q-Snap thing, because I kind of already was. Why you see the cat sign outline here, because I was working with a color and I was just really enjoying working with that color that day. So I just continued carrying through that color that day, just because I was having fun working with it and I was having fun outlining these things. So that's probably going to be what I end up doing with this, is just filling this in and then see where I go from there. Next, I got bags down here. So the Crinkling is going to start. Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Not much of a start on this, but I think the last time I showed it, I only had like a line down here. I had like maybe this done, and that was it. Maybe I had a little bit of this ghost in, but this is where I'm at with this. I'll try to move it closer so you can see the ghost eyes. This is going to be huge. This is my fabric for this. So, yeah. Now, originally kind of thought I'd like to have maybe 3 squares done by my birthday. That's not going to happen. This is on, I should have said, no, that is no longer the fabric. This is on a 40 count vintage country mocha. I believe from Picture This Plus. I don't 100% remember. This is 40 count 1/2. That's the only project bag I own, which actually is supposed to hold quarantine cats, but I've never put quarantine cats back in it since the last time I took it out. So it's got right now, it's got cryptid Sal in it. But yeah, I thought this would be a great bag for quarantine cats. But it is my only project bag. It's been sitting on the floor, so it definitely needs some cat hair removal. I was doing good with this one, but this is where it's at. I've got a good portion of the frame done. I've got the first cryptid done, then I kind of stalled out on the second cryptid. So, and this is a completed Sal now, so I have all the parts, and I actually might Q-snap. I just got a brand new Q-snap in the mail today. So I might Q-snap this, get this on the Q-snap and start, or it's either going to be this, I think, or Universal Monster Cell, which I'll come to. But that's where I'm at with this. This is on a 32 count. Oh, I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't remember the color. It's 32 count. It's from Picture This Plus, I'm sure. But I don't remember the color. I might have to go back and watch an old video to figure that out. But it's 32 count, 2/2. I have the Witch's Familiar Sal. I think this is a 32 count Monster Mash 2/2. I've gotten 1 page done on that. I started in the middle, so I'm not very far with that. I don't have pictures of the completed for these to show you, so I apologize for that. This is one I wasn't sure about. I wasn't sure if I was going to continue on with it, but again, this is a very small one. It could easily be a possible finish focus. I need to find it. I'm not sure where it's at here in my pattern keeper. There it is. This is Mini Night Cafe, Leonid Efremov. And I don't have much of a start on it, but that's where it's at. No, that's not the right way. That's where it's at. And this is small. This is a mini. This is the fabric on it. I should Q-snap this up. I had made a mistake. I frogged out the mistake. I should start working on this one again. I wasn't sure if I was gonna keep it as an active WIP, but I think I'm gonna throw it back into the rotation. Universal Monster Cell. This is gonna be a long one, guys. I'm at an hour already, but I had some explaining to do with the video. So watch this one in pieces if you want to. Absolutely. Universal Monster Cell. It's... Oh, because I started in the... I got a piece of fabric big enough for it, but what I did is I started in the middle of the fabric, and because I was starting in the middle of the chart, so I started in the middle of the fabric, and I just knew that it would fit. So I have a lot of space up at the top on it. This is 32 count. I think it's called Stormy Clouds. Don't think it's called Stormy Clouds. 2/2. See, I've got the Dracula room done. I've got the Creature from the Black Lagoon room done, and the Mummy room done. Minus the French knots that need to go in. I actually just watched a video from Sarah Stitch and Mommy on doing French knots, so I need to practice a little bit and start getting the French knots in. But this is one I would like to... I originally had as a goal to finish by my birthday. It's probably not going to happen, but this... I've had this for a couple of years, and I would like to get it done someday. We're almost there. This is Sunset in Venice, artwork by Dominic Davison. It's Heaven and Earth Designs. This is the max color, so I know this one is 150. This one I know is 150 colors. The inner depths one I mentioned might be like 120. I know this one is 150 though. And this, I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera. Just a couple weeks ago, I did my very first stitches of Krennic. 32 4-braid Krennic. And I don't think it's going to show up. The sparkle is going to show up on my... Yeah. But right in here, I had to do were some Krennic stitches, and there's going to be more over here, a lot more over here. But this is where I'm at with this one. Now on the Krennic, let me know the right way on the Krennic in the comments if you've made it this far. I tried it because I stitched this 1/1. 20. This is a 25 count. Lugana. So I started with one thread on the Krennic. I wasn't sure how you went about Krennic, and I didn't want to take the time to ask in a Facebook group. I just wanted to stitch. So I did 1/1, and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see where I had just stitched. So I did 2/2. Not 2/2, 2/1. I doubled up the thread on the Krennic. Now, I don't know if that was a good idea. I don't know if that ended up making the 4 braid like a 5/8 braid. I don't know. I can kind of feel a bumpiness to the stitches on that, whereas I can't on others, you know. So let me know in the comments how you stitch the Krennic in your pieces, if you use 1 thread or 2 threads. I think I'll maybe try 1 thread again when it's a bigger patch of it. This was just a small patch of it, and like I said, I couldn't see where it was. I couldn't see it, so I did 2, and I could see it, so that's what I did. But let me know what the right way is. Next is In This Moment. I don't remember the artist on this. Come on. Jeremiah Kettner is the artist. This is Heaven and Earth Designs. This is what it'll look like. And this is where I am at. Okay. 4 left, guys. 4 left. Strike that 5 left. There's 2 in this bag. Big Red Ship of Life. This is an Ink Circles sampler. This is where I'm at with it. This is on 28 count lamb's wool. 1/1. And I rebought this chart on as a PDF so I could use Pattern Keeper for it. So I've bought this chart twice. This is the Linens and Threads, who is now Fox and Rabbit Designs, 2021 Sal. I did not get very far with it. This is as far as I got. But I would like to go back to it at some point. I have to remember how I'm stitching this one. Looks like 2/2. I think this is a 32 count Monster Mash from Picture This Plus. Hey, there's a needle. Yeah, because this was the original fabric I think I bought for Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Maybe. I don't know. I bought it for something, and I was stitching 1/1 on it. Yeah, I think I bought it for Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, and I was stitching 1/1 on 32 count on it. And it was so... I didn't like it. It was too... I didn't like how it was coming out. So I frogged it and started the Linens and Threads on it. That's what it was. Yep. This is Quick Stitch Arthur. This one's by Linda Ravenscroft. I know that. This is what it'll look like when it's done. This is where I'm at with it. I still have... I don't park anymore, but I still have some parked threads on this one because I just haven't worked in that area in a while. So this is where I'm at with it. Again, this one is a quick stitch. Should be a conceivable finish at some point, maybe next year. We'll see how my 2023 or 45 to 46 goals go. This is another one that should be easy to do a quick finish on. This is Labyrinthine Spring. This is Story Keep. And the artwork is by Stephanie Pumin Law, whose artwork I love. And I think I have... See, this, again, this is not very big. I should be able to... But this is where I'm at with it. I think I have a correction. If I remember correctly, I have a correction to make over here. And that's why I put it away, because I didn't feel like making the correction at the time. And I think that's why I put it away and haven't gone back to it. But I should just figure out what went wrong and fix it and finish it. And last one, close cat Pattern Keeper again. Why did it open at the bottom? What the heck? This is Humble Heart. You're not going to show me the PDF on that one. Okay, so artwork is by Cindy Wright, it looks like. This is what it'll look... It's the last one, seriously. This is what it'll look like when it's done. I don't have a huge start on this. In fact, I'm not even going to unfold it. This is where I'm at with it. And that is it. That is my WIP parade. That is all of my WIPs. Minus one, minus a stupid Super Mario Brothers one that's in a hoop upstairs. That's on 16 count Ada that I never touch. But I should just finish it. If I remember, I'll throw that one into the next video. Who knows? But I should just finish it. It's a shape of Super Mario jumping up and hitting a block with a scene from Super Mario Brothers in it, but I never touch it because it's on 16 count Ada. I don't like the fat, and I don't like working on it. But I should just suck it up and finish it because it's small. It fits all within the hoop. Anyway, that is the WIP parade. That is me back to Flosstube. I don't know if I'm gonna be what my video schedule is going to be with this. If I'm gonna try to do once a week, or if it's gonna be every 2 weeks. I don't think it's gonna be only once a month. I think it's gonna at least be every 2 weeks. I'm still working on that, but I really wanted to get a video out. I've been itching to do a Flosstube video, and that's why I think I need to just be a Flosstuber, because that's what I was itching to do. That's the videos I was itching to make. That's the community I was itching to get back to. So let me know if you've made it this far in the video. Thank you for sticking. I know Flosstube viewers are used to sticking out for an hour plus video. So I appreciate that. So let me know in the comments what you think of the names. Endless Flossabilities, Lost in the Flossabilities. I also thought of the Flossabilities are endless, which is what led me to Endless Flossabilities. So let me know what you think about that too. The Flossabilities are endless versus Endless Flossabilities. I kind of like Endless Flossabilities better. I'm not saying that I'm gonna go if I do this and I change the channel name and be just completely a Flosstuber. Then I'm gonna go with the name that gets the highest amount of votes, but it'll definitely help me make the decision. Other than that, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all got through the Omicron surge well. I hope you're all doing as well as you can be mentally with everything going on in the world and the horrible things going on in Ukraine, and it just baffles my mind. I don't want to get into that because that's not what I've always wanted this channel to be an escape from that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's been affecting, it seems like one thing after the other just keeps coming up to be able to affect us mentally and stuff. So we get through the Omicron surge and we get that atrocity happening in the Ukraine, and it seems like we just can't get through one thing without the next thing just piling on. So I hope everybody is doing what they need to do for themselves to mentally cope and get through these times as the best you can, and with the best outlook on things that you can, and as being as healthy as you can, because you got to take care of yourself. And with that, I'd like to thank everybody who has made it to the end of this video, who is watching this video after such a long absence, for sticking with me. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, please go back and check out some of my older Flosstube videos. And I hope you like what you see well enough to hit the subscribe button and stick around, and I will see you all in the next one.